Welcome back to Divorced Dads of America, The Rebuild. I am your host and founder, Anthony Thompson. I am glad that you're here. We're going to dig into some questions. It goes like this. Every Wednesday, I take real questions from real dads in The Rebuild, and I unpack them honestly. Guys that are in our school group, in our school community, will drop things. Sometimes it's in the comments on Instagram. I try and do no filters on this stuff, no perfect answers, just truth and tools for the man doing the hardest work there is. So today I have a couple questions that are going to hit close to home, man. Stuff I hear all the time. The first one is from a dad who called me recently. Actually, I called him. He wasn't just struggling. He wanted to run away from his entire life. He questioned whether any of it was worth it. And what he told me on that call stopped me, man. The second question is from a dad who makes decent money and still feels financially suffocated every single month. He can pay his bills, but he still feels broke. And both of these questions are about a man whose life looks manageable from the outside, but it feels impossible on the inside. So I want to dig into it. I want to straight into this first question. And dads, those of you listening, I really implore you to take a step back, take a breath, open your hearts and your minds in these episodes. I do not want these to just be flowing in you. I want action to be caused because of it. I want you to, if this is something that nudges you and pushes you and hits you and does any of those things, I want you to do something. I want you to take action. I want you to make a decision. I want you to commit. And I believe that those dads that do, the ones that I've seen that have done that, their life has been transformed. These little things that are holding on, that you're holding on to, my prayer and belief today is that there's a decision, there's a moment, there's something that says enough is enough. So let me get into this first question here, guys. It came from a real conversation. Like I said, a dad, he called me not long ago. We jumped on a call. He said, I want to run away. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm questioning whether my life is even worth continuing. And he wasn't being dramatic. He meant it. He was very stoic about it and still about it. And I remember being in that same state and place many times where I was looking at everything and it was suffocating. I was in a blender. It was overwhelming. Not only my personal pain and things that I was going through, but then watching my kids and the pain that they were feeling, watching my career or the lack of career that was in it. And so we had this chat on the phone, and I just want to unpack some of this for you guys so you can hear a little bit about maybe what we talked about, and if it's helpful for you, that there's a few things I'm going to give you today that you can do, real practical steps that right from this podcast you can use. Things that we talk about in our school community, our school group, guys that I'm working with one-on-one coaching to build them, build their life, build their cash flow, build their mindset, build their dad life, all of that. I want to give it to you today. So I want to first acknowledge, hey, I know this is hard. I know this sucks, man. I know it does. I don't want you to feel like I'm not acknowledging where you're at because I've been there and it's hard and it's bleeding you out many days. But I want you to know that you're worth it, dude. You are freaking worth it. And you need to know that you're worth it. You need to know that this matters. You need to know that you're just one or two decisions away from things to start moving in the right direction. So this dad, we got on this call, excuse me, and he's carrying this weight. And I hear some dads a lot of time when they're in this place. It's not a weakness. It's exhaustion, really. It's literally exhaustion. It's what happens when a man has been white knuckling his life for so long. He has nothing left to hold on to, right? You have finite energy. And when it's being used in all these other areas, it just compresses and it just sucks the life out of you. And so when you think about it, he's saying, hey, the running away feeling is not the problem. It's a signal. It's the mind saying what I'm currently doing is not sustainable. Something has to change. If you want to change, you have to change. And if you want things to change, you have to change. And I know we know that. But when you really look at what you're doing and inside your life, it can't be these little tiny changes in these moments. You need a lot of action to get through what you're going through. The question is whether or not to run. The question is what you run toward. And so I want to give you what we work through together. I call it a reset protocol. And this guy was, again, he was getting hit from all sides, financial side, the relationship side with his spouse, his children's side, the mental anguish, the past traumas in his life, all of them at once, blender mode. The first thing I said to him, and the first thing I say to most dads in any of these scenarios, and as I hear them talk and I hear them speak, first thing is forgiveness. Forgiveness first. Forgiveness for you. Forgiveness for the things that you've done. Forgiveness for your spouse of what you feel like she did to you. Or the weight of unforgiveness is one of the heaviest things a man carries through divorce. It was the ex who betrayed you, the people who disappeared, the system that failed you, right? Carrying that is like drinking poison and waiting for them to get sick. That's what unforgiveness does. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was okay. It means you're no longer willing to let it live rent-free in your body and in your mind. And that's where we started, because nothing else works until the weight starts to lift. The neuroscience behind this from Dr. Fred Luskin at Stanford's Forgiveness Project, incredible. They did a forgiveness project. And he found that chronic unforgiveness activates the body's stress response system in the same way ongoing physical threat does. Sustained cortisol elevation, increased heart rate, disrupted sleep architecture. His studies showed that practicing forgiveness, listen to this, reduced emotional stress symptoms by up to 70% in participants dealing with this. The body cannot begin to rebuild while it is still in threat mode. I can't stress this enough. In this study, 70%, when you're holding on to that poison, you guys, it's coming out in every area of your life. You know, this individual was getting short with his children. He was having, reacting to them, hard moment with them, not having grace and patience. He was reacting at work. He was reacting at random situations where it really did not warrant any type of situation. And it was all coming out. It was all there. That was the first one. The second one is the second change, the second move, the second protocol. Change what goes in your mouth, guys. What you speak is what you build or what you destroy. This dad was speaking death about a situation, his future, his worth, not dramatically, just quietly in the car, in his head every day. And many guys will say this, but that's just how it is. That's the reality that I live in. Well, in the current circumstance, that is a lot of those things. You have to ask yourself, does that give you energy or does it take energy away? And so what I did, we flipped it, literally. I said, what do you want your life to look like, man? What do you want for your kids? What does the man you're becoming actually say about himself? How does he talk to himself? A few weeks back, we had a guest on the show that was talking about how we talk to ourselves many times is no way, shape, or form how we talk to even a friend or a child. We're so critical, so hard. And I don't mind you being hard on yourself. You need to be hard on yourself as long as there's the other side of the coin, that you're encouraging, that you're uplifting, that you're speaking goodness and you're speaking life. So that's what we did. We flipped it. I said, man, I need you to flip it. Write it down. Say it out loud every day, even when it feels like a lie, especially then. It's not going to feel comfortable. And the reason why is because you are becoming a new man. You are no longer a caterpillar, my friend. You're turning into a butterfly. And it is difficult. You've never been there before. You've never gone to this new or higher level. It is uncomfortable. And so our minds are wanting to bring us back into what's comfortable and what's known and what's certain. But the guys that have the greatest results, the guys that grow the fastest, the guys that use these moments and change their life are the ones that are doing the opposite thing. They're rising to that level. They're getting into this discomfort. They're leaning into it. They're opening those doors. They're growing. They're building. Proverbs 18:21 in this verse says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You've got to know that. Your words are speaking death or life. You get to choose every single day. Choose life and you'll get more of that. And choose death, you'll get more of that. That's the challenge I have for you. Move number 3 is you got to get a picture. It has to be a picture of what you're building towards. So the third thing I said to him, I said, hey, you need to build a picture, man. What do you want? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? What are you talking about? Where are you going? What are you doing? All of those things, that visual picture is going to give your brain something to hold on to. And it needs to pull you. That picture should pull you. That's the man I'm becoming. That's how I talk. That's my emotional regulation, right? That's how I am with my kids. I'm being pulled into greatness. And we got specific. Had him write it out. Get a vision. Get a plan. He emailed me a plan about what he was doing every day at the hours of the day. What was happening? What was he thinking about? What was he doing? You're like, Anthony, that's a little crazy, isn't it? Well, it's a little crazy to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's crazy. That's insanity. And so we scripted this thing out. And I tell you what, guys, the guys that I have been with at the highest levels, they have their days scripted out. They know what they're doing. Their intentions are aligned with where they're going. Number 4, protocol. Eliminate the pause, boys. Pause are porn, alcohol, weed, and scrolling or sex. And there was a few that this individual was hitting on. I said, cool, let's talk about that. Let's eliminate those. The studies now show that none of those things are beneficial in any way, shape, or form. And therefore, they are only holding you back. They're only more weights in your life. You might think that they're helpful and all of those things. You might keep telling yourself that, but I'm telling you this right now, guys. The guys that jump the furthest, the guys that grow the fastest, the ones that are leading others are the ones that say, hey, you know what? I'm putting this down. This isn't a part of me. This isn't the man I'm becoming. I don't want this for my life. I don't want my kids doing these things. That's not the direction I want to go. We finished that call, and a few days later, this guy was in a different zone. I couldn't even believe it. I actually could not believe it. I could not believe it. He told me he had light and hope. He told me that he had great conversations with his kids, which hadn't happened. He was in a better place. He kept talking about just having some hope about what was going on. And I want to give that to you because if it can happen for him in less than 72 hours, it can happen for you. Write these things down. He got accountable. He started working with me one-on-one, and we literally just started getting accountable to each and every one of these things. He started reaching out, and we worked through that. So I want you to know that, guys, this is possible. This isn't for somebody else. This is for you. If you have a nudge, step 1, get into our school community. Get in there and start. Step 2, get in our Climb, our weekly private group with me. Just start getting accountable with a band of brothers. Or step 3, you say, hey, I want one-on-one work. I want real help here. I want to grow more than I've ever grown before. Then do one of those things. Those of you guys that are listening, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe on Spotify or Apple. Help this get to more dads that are in desperate need of help. So let me give you the next question. I'll be quick. This one will be a little bit faster, but this question came in from a dad in our community. He said, Anthony, I make good money. I can pay my bills, but every month I get to the end, there's nothing left. I feel financially suffocated and I don't know where it goes. I feel like I'm behind. I can't figure out why. I want to get my money right, but I don't know where to start. So this is those of you guys, you've got different payments now and money has gone out and your financial future looks terrible. I get it. I've been there. You split the accounts and it hurts. You lose the house and something else goes on. Maybe you're paying a couple mortgages or whatever it might be. Step 1, when I sat with this guy to talk to him, I said, step 1 is how long has this been happening? How long have you had this scarcity feeling about money? What does money do to you when you have it, when you don't have it? Because if that is something that can change your state and change your emotion and change everything, then that's the problem. There's some form of blockage around money. I know for me in my own life, there was a fear of not having enough. Even when I had enough, even when I had money in the bank, I didn't want to spend it. I was worried that it was going to be gone or whatever it was going to be, whatever's going to happen. And it never happened. But I was constantly in this state that it was gone. That what do I do? Where is this going to be? And I want to give you some financial anxiety neuroscience statistics on this. Very interesting. From the American Psychological Association says it consistently shows that perceived financial threat activates the same neural pathways as physical danger. The amygdala fires, cortisol rises, and it's responsible for rational planning and long-term thinking goes offline. This is why dads in financial stress make reactive decisions rather than strategic ones. The brain is in survival mode, it's shut down. You cannot budget your way out of a survival response. You have to address the fear before the numbers will make sense. So here is some of the things that we do, and I work with him. You don't start with a spreadsheet, you start with clarity. One of the things that was most helpful for me is just writing out those fears on a piece of paper. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing my job, fear of, going broke, fear of not being able to buy something. And man, I've realized now that as I listed those out, on the other side of the paper, I list out that, man, I am a top producer. I'm a high level man. I am blessed coming in and going out. I have creative ideas to solve problems. I began engineering, as we said before, with my mouth of what was coming in and what was going out. I began to surround myself with people that were doing bigger things than me and realizing that, man, they had been in this position before. And one of the things practically, let me give this to you practically, that helped a client that came on about this and asked the question. First is understand your cash in, cash out. Your budget, and maybe you have your budget down to a T, but if you don't, get it down. What is cash in, cash out? What does it look like? I found in this particular instant, there was a couple things that this guy had that he didn't even need. They were things that he had purchased. They were payments that didn't need to be there. I said, well, let's get those out. Let's get this stuff sold. Let's eliminate that. We eliminated nearly $2,000 just instantly of payments and things that just he thought he needed. He thought that they were making him feel better, and they weren't, because the financial piece of it was not giving him peace. I say, let's live below our means. Let's just tone this down, and let's live there for a little bit so you can feel what that feels like. So first one is fix cash flow in, cash flow out. Second thing, as a part to that, is know what you need per month. Know what you want. If it's 10 grand, you need 15, then great. There's 5 grand. We got to figure out a way to close that gap. The second thing is you got to turn the fear into faith. Fear says there's never enough. Faith says I will build what I need. And it's not just it's a spiritual focus here. It is a mindset that you're saying that, you know what, I've gotten this far, and a door is going to open, a conversation is going to happen, and we build your daily activities into those things. So fear focuses on what's missing. Faith focuses on what's possible and practical. Faith takes action where fear freezes. So I want you to think about, what is one income move you've been avoiding because it felt too uncertain? That is where you need to start. There's a guy in our community that has come in and he shared many times about a business that he wants to start. He keeps talking about wanting to start the business. I said, it's been a month. So I want you to move from talking about it to doing it. If you started to do those things you said you would do, what would happen? At least you would know if this is an opportunity or not. And there's many things like that. Anytime I'm talking with guys about money, there's plenty of things that you're doing and plenty of things you're not doing that are going to move you in the right direction. Move number 3, build the picture. Where do you want to be financially? What does that actually look like? Start looking at what that looks like instead of paycheck to paycheck. Say, hey, another guy in our community just eliminated about $20,000 worth of debt in less than 3 months. Man, he's feeling like a new man. What do? We close the gaps. I got him focused on the right things of where he needs to spend his money, what he needs to do. He got accountable with me. He's working with me, and things started moving. What I'm saying to you guys is, it's not some kind of unicorn that shows up and hands you a check or a bag full of cash. It's the daily things that you're doing. Jeremiah, going into the scriptures, and you also have to remember this, guys, that Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. You guys need hope. You guys need a future. You guys need to look forward of what you're going to build and then bring it into today. What is the decision I need to make today? How do I need to do this? Do I need to buy this? Do I need to wait? What do I need to do? Living below your means, and also doing the work that you need to do to put you in a position that's going to bring you what you need to bring. Those are a few things in this financial thing. Those of you guys have questions on this, comments, get in our school group, jump in, ask questions. There's obviously here on Spotify or Apple, you can drop a question or a comment. Ask the questions, guys, because listen, drifters white knuckle it until they have nothing left. They let the running away feel like they're winning. They let the scarcity story run their finances and their faith. Builders name the weight they're carrying, and they start there. They forgive. They change the inputs. They get a picture. And when they feel financially suffocated, they stop operating on fear and start operating in clarity. To the dad who wanted to run away, you're still here. That means you're still in the fight. Keep going. To the dad who makes good money and still feels broke, the math is not your problem. The story is. Change the story first, and the numbers will follow. Again, follow on Apple or subscribe on Spotify. I love you guys. There's 3 options you can get to the next step. Next step is 1, get in our school community. There's free. There's plenty of things there that will get you on track. Number 2, our climb community. One-on-one work with me in a private group. Every week we show up, we build, we get accountable on all of those things. And number 3, if you're a business owner, high-level earner, you want to do some work one-on-one with me, apply. Apply to work with me and see if we're a good fit. I want to transform 1 million dads. This is how we do it. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.